Yo! What's going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 21 video. We got more information about the yard. Now, earlier today, I put out a video talking about the trailer and some various things like stadiums and currency and uniforms regarding the yard. I did not know there was a full Gridiron Notes blog about it with much more information. So here we are, video number 2 of the day. If you missed the first one, there's going to be a circle upper right part of your screen. Go ahead and click that. It's going to link you to this morning's video. So here is video number 2 of a lot of information to go over. I pressed the wrong button there. A lot of information to go over. It's going to be down below in the description. This blog, this link, if you want to read it for yourself, I'm going to skim through some of it, but full Gridiron Notes on the yard. And then remember, next, I think Tuesday the 18th, we're finally getting some Madden Ultimate Team news. Looking forward to that one. So, of course, we'll have a video on that whenever that information comes out. So here we go. This is from JP Kellum's guy who basically created, I don't want to say created, maybe he did, but he was a big reason why Superstar KO came out last year. And I met him down in Orlando. Really cool guy. He thinks outside of the box, and it looks like this was his idea as well, the yard. So go follow him on Twitter. Definitely a guy you want to follow for if you're kind of looking for Madden information. So here we go. He introduces himself. We're going to skip through that. We get some screenshots. I like what I'm seeing here. I talked about in the video earlier this morning with the different uniforms. Looks like we're getting a look at some of them. I noticed in Madden Mobile, and it looks like it's going to be the same on console, that you can play with like your favorite team's helmet. We see a Green Bay Packers helmet here in this screenshot. We see Buffalo Bills in this one, but the uniforms are not the NFL uniforms. They're totally different. Lots of customization. If you've played mobile, you've seen that so far. And then remember, everything that you do on mobile, if you link your account, you can switch it or transfer it over to console, and it goes hand in hand. So if you play half on console, half on your phone, it's all going to sync together, all kind of progress together. So what is the yard? I think for the most part, you guys have a good idea of what it is, but our first experiences with football are usually played in the backyard. For me, it was two-hand touch on the street. I lived on a hill. We used to play two-hand touch football on a hill. Crazy. Lots of stamina when you were younger. The playground is also home to many of the fondest football memories. How many of you guys made playbooks, like drew plays on a piece of paper and made handmade playbooks? Let me know in the comments. Where end zones are the end of a parking lot or a tree line in Mississippi isn't just a place but a rule. Yep, count Mississippi's to rush the quarterback. These feelings and the fun they represent live on the pass, backyard, and flag football 7-on-7 drills and improvisation. I definitely killed that word, of downtime during practice. The yard is built to make and feel that feeling a reality in Madden, where you can pick up a ball, be anyone, line up anywhere, and play both sides of the ball. So I think we get it here. It's basically backyard football, and it's going to be fun. The yard gameplay. So how do we translate the gameplay of the backyard into Madden NFL 21? Let's go over some of the unique rules that you will find in the yard. The first thing you will notice is the field. It's an 80-yard by 40-yard field. Like flag football, first downs are generated by passing the 20-yard markers. Double passes. When you are behind the line of scrimmage in the yard, all passes are legal as many times as you want. That's interesting. So can we run the Philly special? We call this a double pass, and you will notice that the receiver icons are always on in the yard. Okay, once you are past the line of scrimmage, you can pass behind as often as you like. We even added in a one-timer mechanic that allows you to bat the ball into the air to another receiver. That sounds glitchy. When the ball is in the air, hold LT or L2 and press any receiver button. So one-timer catching. It says hold LT and press any receiver button icon while the ball is in the air to catch the ball and immediately throw it. Lots of trick play possibility there. Laterals. The player never ends once you master laterals. Oh, the play never ends once you master laterals. By pressing LB or L1, you can lateral as often as you would like in the yard. These have special trajectories and animations that keep the play going, and you can even lateral out of a tackle. That's interesting. However, don't get too greedy, as laterals have a high risk and reward in the yard, so obviously you have the chance at fumbling there. Again, this full blog will be in the description. We got some more screenshots here. It looks like this one is of a lateral, and you see the player's kind of getting tackled right here, and he's pitching it out the last moment. That kind of looks like Michael Vick. I don't want to assume things, but doesn't that look like a 7 here? I know the screenshot's probably really small on your screen, but that's an Eagles helmet that almost looks... I'm probably making things up. Anyway, pass rush timer. Pass timer. If you've ever counted Mississippi in a backyard game, you get this one. Each unique location will have a timer that dictates when the first defense can pass rush, but also a pass timer that shows how much time you have to throw if you have not been rushed. So there is a counter clock for both rushing and throwing the ball. Our standard is a 1-second pass rush and a 4-second pass timer. If you try to blitz too early, you will run into a barrier that will stop your forward momentum. If the QB holds on to the ball too long without passing, the play will be whistled dead. Finally, if you are blitzed, the timer goes away and you are free to scramble past the line of scrimmage, but you can't rush until the defense comes after you. Very interesting stuff there. I like it. I like it a lot. And they mentioned that the location dictates where you play. So in today's video earlier, I noticed that there were different sets of rules based on your location. So pass rush, pass timer is apparently one of them. MultiSnap. Another tool you have in your arsenal is the ability to snap to any player on the field. This is called the MultiSnap. Just use LT or L2 to bring up the prompt and press the button icon for any player on the field to snap to that player. That's interesting. Otherwise, you will snap as normal to your QB. Be careful, though. If you snap to a receiver lined up on the line of scrimmage against a DB, you won't have much time to drop back. So it sounds like you can snap it, well, obviously, to anybody on the field, but if they're all lining up, you can snap to your running back, your wide receiver, your tight end, whoever's on the field. And remember, they said the play's never dead until it crosses the line of scrimmage, and even that point, you can lateral. So, man, there's so many things that you could do. It's going to be crazy. Combined with a new Madden NFL 20 mechanics like the ball carrier stick skill and DB lock-on, you can see how you now have the tools to create moments like never before. But just to make sure that you don't miss them, we've created a vast number of unique custom animations for the yard, like behind the back passes and between the leg catches, that will make sure every game is something to remember. So here's some screenshots of it. If you watch the trailer from my video earlier today, we saw a lot of that. There was Patrick Mahomes throwing around the back passes. There was running backs or just players with the ball juking and putting the ball around their back through their legs. Really cool stuff. It just, it gives it that arcadey feel. It's going to be a break from playing regular football, regular 11-on-11 sweat fest. Hopefully this is just a lot more fun. Scoring in the yard. The yard has a special scoring system that rewards the type of creative playmaking that makes the game special. Touchdowns are worth 6 points. Score a touchdown with a double pass or lateral, 2-point bonus. So it kind of sounds like house rules almost, right? To a sense. Score a touchdown longer than 40 yards, you get a point bonus. Interceptions earn you a point, so you can score on defense. Extra points are up to you. You can choose or try 1, 2, or 3-point conversions. They get progressively further away from the goal line, and kicking is never an option. I like it. I like it a lot. The article goes on to say that usually each team gets 3 possessions, so it's not like a timed type game. Each team gets 3 possessions. So many different ways to score. There's possibilities are endless, and whoever has the most points at the end of 3 drives wins. I like that. If you end up in overtime, we use a modified college OT system. Each team gets a drive. After 3 drives, each team gets single plays to score until 1 touchdown, and then there's a winner. The yard playbooks, we get some information or some screenshots here of the plays. Deep dish, crossfire, mid-attack, hurricane. I like the various names there. And if you notice on some of the play art, there's almost every play, they have somebody running behind the line of scrimmage. So there goes the lateral and the passes to non-quarterbacks and whatnot. So they talk about the playbooks. I'm not really going to read too much into that. Prototypes is the big part here. So if you played Madden the Yard on mobile, you notice prototypes. Basically, I'm going to skim through this. You guys can read the full article yourself. But prototypes are the positions that you play, and reading this and playing it on mobile, basically you have various prototypes So like I've been doing quarterbacks on mobile, and there's a speed quarterback, and then there's like a pocket quarterback, and you can kind of upgrade those individually. So you're not kind of stuck with the one prototype. Once you create your player or your avatar, you actually can level up all different types of prototypes. And I think that's going to add some longevity to the game mode itself, hopefully. So here are the positions. We have quarterback and strong safety, middle linebacker and center, wide receiver and CB number 1, wide receiver and CB number 2, slot wide receiver and slot CB, and then a halfback and outside linebacker, lines up on offense, and then defense. So if you pick a quarterback, then he's going to play safety on defense. If you pick a slot, a halfback, then he's going to be an outside linebacker on defense. Rolling squads. So the quarterback calls offensive plays, the middle linebacker calls defensive plays, and the head coach would be the halfback or outside linebacker. Remember, the game mode against the computer, they said this a couple weeks ago, is going to be, I think, 6v6, but online it's only 3v3. So it's basically like squads. The squads we're, used to playing, but those are kind of the role within the squads. We see the abilities, the prototypes. So we're looking at right now a scrambling quarterback, and these are the abilities. First one, free tip drill, because they play strong safety. That threw me off for a moment. And then here are skill points, which look like the ability to upgrade your player. So you get a skill point, you can use it towards speed, finesse running, throw accuracy, catch, tackle. And you're going to want to have, tackle on your quarterback, because he's got to play strong safety too. There are 3 main components to your prototype's loadout: X factors, abilities, and skill points. Each prototype comes with a unique X factor that you cannot change. These X factors have unlocks in the yard that are different than the standard Madden and are more directly related to overall performance on the field than the specific unlocks you'd see in other modes. Just pull up the coach cam to see your specific progress towards activating your X factor. Next up are abilities. We grant you a few to start, but you'll unlock more by leveling up prototypes in your binder or by playing Face of the Franchise. So Face of the Franchise unlocks this stuff too. That's interesting. Each prototype can slot 2 superstar abilities of your choice. And then we have skill points. Skill points are earned by leveling up the prototype you are currently using. You can use these skill points to authenticate, accentuate specific traits of your prototype. Finally, you may have noticed the modifier section. These denote intrinsic traits. Stop using so many big words, JP. Of your prototype. A green arrow. See, I just like green and red. A green up arrow means they have max skills in that area. But if the arrow is down in red, that's probably bad, right? You shouldn't expect much in that skill. The height and weight also dictate how big you'll be on the field, but don't worry. If you choose to make a 7-foot, 300-pound behemoth of a creative player, we will make sure that he takes up half the screen in almost all of the menus. Finally, depending on the event, your teammates will be filled out automatically, or you will have the chance to pick them from your team yourself. We got a screenshot of the teammates in the squad. I notice here Jalen Ramsey, he's a wide receiver and a CB, so that's pretty cool. Talks about how you go to build out your team. I'm going to let you guys read the rest of that for yourself here as we scroll through some of these other images. Remember, the blog is down below in the description. I think I got all of the information that I want to learn from this. I'm very, very excited. It talks about the world tour, the different venues that you can play at, which we talked about in our video earlier today. And remember, with these various locations, there are going to be different rules. And then we take a look at gear and customization. There's throwback helmets, it almost looks like. We got various currency here to unlock this stuff. As we scroll through some of these, customization is going to be fun. Who's going to have the most swagged out? That's what they used in the blog in today's video earlier. Who's going to have the most swagged out character? So a lot of customization there. 2,000 individual pieces of gear just at launch. Best believe they're going to update that. Best believe they're going to allow you to spend your hard-earned money on that. And then they talk about the future of the yard. Each Madden season will be launching more prototypes or new prototypes. So there's going to be upgrades, a lot to do. This talks about what stuff kind of carries over from the console to the mobile app and vice versa. Go read the rest of it yourself. I think we went over a lot of information. I am very excited about this game mode. Can't wait to play it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.